Okay, sorry the video cut off yesterday. I was obviously having a bit of a panic attack, and we know what that means. It means it's a dimensional change because we're dying in the dimension that we're in. Okay. Um, so there's multiple timelines, and I'm not sure if I had a brother or a twin, but I had a brother close to me in age, closer to the perfect timeline, I want to say. His name was Eric. And I constantly call Brandon Eric because that was his name in The Crow, and I've called him that for years. Sometimes I call him for the most part I call him Brandon now, but once in a while I'll still call him Eric. But I think it was to mash him with my brother from the higher timeline named Eric. And I'm pretty sure that was Sean Stone before the fall of man, and the space activator placed him in his new home as the son of Oliver Stone. Isn't that funny? And I grew up in this timeline. I grew up with a neighbor that was close to my age. I think he was like 1 or 2 years older than me. And his name was Eric. So, and I always had a neighbor named Eric my entire life. I had a neighbor named Eric in this house too growing up. He lived not the house next to me, but the house, the big Victorian house, the bigger Victorian house that has an elevator in it. He grew up in that house, and his name was Eric too. And there's an Eric down the street there too in walking distance. So I always had a lot of Erics. He's probably saying sorry, Liz, because I want to say sorry, Sean. And if you look at pictures of Sean Stone when he's younger, he looks like Brandon. I was gonna Google it, but I don't feel like Googling it right now. Like, I think he's like teenager or young 20s. He looks a lot like Brandon. And then he became like Chris Evans, like twin. And now him and Chris Evans sort of look different. I mean, they obviously look as similar. They still look like brothers. Like they could be brothers, but they look a bit different. Sean's more spiritual, so he was on me and Rione's get comfortable track. So he has more of a comfortable body than Mr. Chris, who's still a movie star. Anyway, so I was just thinking that and getting utterly depressed about growing up with my brother Sean, whose name was Eric. Um, and I was sort of just staring into space. What are all these screenshots I was taking? Oh, are you listening? Excuse me. See how it says, are you listening? And aren't we constantly saying, are you listening in? Are you listening in? Oh, The Apprentice. I was like, that looks like a Star Wars interview, but that looks like Bucky because it says The Apprentice. Um, are you listening? See that? And we're constantly saying, are you listening in? So it's for Barbara Sinatra's Children Centered Foundation. Isn't that interesting? What else? Putin's The New World Order is forming. Why did I take a picture? Oh, that was probably for a screenshot. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, the houses. I'm just looking at all my screenshots and wondering why I took a screenshot to see. Oh, here's the matching sweats party that I suggested to marketing for Thanksgiving. That came up like the next day. Did I show you guys my dad's ship? It's kind of dark. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it unless I adjust. Let me adjust the brightness and the contrast. Maybe you can see it. Edit, contrast. Let's see. Can you guys see it? Okay, there, now you can see it. There's my dad's ship. Oh wait, I think I did show you guys this. But anyway. I Am Unique, a self-restoration workshop. This is a store in my neighborhood. A self-restoration workshop? What the fuck does that even mean? That's like the weirdest. Somebody paid money for that sign. That is the fucking weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. And there's cars parked in front. Like, what are they doing there? That isn't that the weirdest fucking thing ever? Okay. Oh, it's already creepy. It's 8:30 in the morning and it's already creepy. Fresh woke me up really early in the morning. He had to get sick. He had a very morning early bowel movement and it made him sick and I had to take him out. Okay. You guys were asking about the toys because I remembered getting the pony from Walmart. It's just like a little plastic figure of like this fancy horse from Kmart, which I don't think exists anymore. And my grandma bought me that. Her name was Granny, Peggy Carter. And my mom wouldn't buy it for me. And Granny said, well, I'm visiting, so I can buy it for her because it's a present, it's a treat. And my mom was like, ugh, fine. Like she was like a little upset that like my granny was buying the pony for me because she said no. My granny said yes. My granny always said yes. You know what I mean? And you guys were asking about the boys' toys on the other side of the room. Um, you know, I don't remember like getting those toys. You guys are asking me like, do you remember getting those toys? Like, did you get them for Christmas? Like when did you get them? And I don't remember like unwrapping them and like getting them. And like I don't really remember the rescue center. Like that's one toy in my room where I'm just like, well, I like boys' toys. So that was quite normal for me and I'm so glad that I'm saying that as a 44-year-old woman and that I didn't say that as like a child. And like stupid women like Heather that have like literally zero personality and their entire personality is just copying me can't be like, well, I'm 5 years old and I only want boys' toys. Like, I'm just so happy that like that can't happen. Because believe me, we have dealt with Heather our entire lives, me and Chris Evans, and she's been like this our entire life, just constantly like whatever Liz gets, like I have to get. Like it's just like a it's like literally the copy and paste show with her, and it's just so annoying. And like that's one thing, like I'm obviously saying this out loud, and like I'm obviously talking out loud, and people obviously hear me. And they can't be like, well, I'm 5 years old, so I'm only gonna get like boys' toys. Like, I literally got a lot of boys' toys my entire life. It wasn't just then. I got like Transformers. I got Ninja Turtles. I think I had an entire Ninja Turtle birthday party, guys, like at the skating rink. I can't remember if it was my brother's birthday or it was my birthday. Adam was super into Ninja Turtles too, but so was I. And I think I had to get, I can't remember if it was me or Adam's birthday, this one birthday, to be honest with you guys, but I really loved Ninja Turtles, and you can ask my mom. She will say Ninja Turtles was Alyssa's favorite toy. I'm pretty sure it's a little boy's favorite toy. And I'm pretty sure I had an entire Ninja Turtles birthday party, and my best friend at the time, she also liked Ninja Turtles, but it wasn't a copy and paste show. It was just something like we both generally liked. And I think I had to get like all four of them. Like I was like, I will not feel complete unless I get all four Ninja Turtle toys at the skating rink. Um, and I had a lot of Transformers toys. I wasn't into G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe is the one, which ironically, I worked on G.I. Joe. Um, I worked on that property, but in the toy industry, but I never liked G.I. Joe. That's the one I could never get into it. I obviously had a lot of little boy friends who liked G.I. Joe, and I was like, no, I'm not into it. I'm not into it. I'm trying to think of what other little boys' toys that I liked, but I definitely, in general, I liked both Barbie and all of the boys' toys, and I would definitely get both for Christmas and my birthday. I'd get like half and half. And that was just normal for me, guys. That was one thing that my parents were very accepting of, was that I liked boys' toys. I mean, I didn't really talk about a little girl in the neighborhood that I would play with, did I? I thought, like, Kelly's a boy, isn't he? So, yeah, I don't remember getting those presents, the boys' toys in my room, the record player, but I remember playing with them. I remember, like, I loved that phone, that Mickey Mouse phone. Like, I loved calling Mickey Mouse on the phone. And I loved that record player. I loved playing my music on that record player. And what was the other? I don't remember the rescue center. I don't remember that one. So, um, yeah. And I remember my stuffed animals, and I told you I love that strawberry shortcake doll. So I don't remember getting the strawberry shortcake doll either, but I remember playing with her like incessantly. And I had a lot of Barbies too, which were not pictured for some reason. Okay, so I know that like that boy's bedroom like kind of gave you guys like a panic attack. Obviously, it gave me a panic attack as well. You guys saw it on film. Um, but yeah, isn't it interesting? Like Christmas presents, like you never, because like of Santa and stuff, like you never see your parents like go buy Christmas presents, and that would like totally make it very easy for like Bruce Lee to like go buy my presents. At those prices, no one in my immediate family would be able to afford those. Okay, in the 1980s, no one in my immediate family would be able to afford those at those prices. So it would have to be gifted to me by my grandfather Bruce Lee at that point. With those prices, okay, so that's why we're saying it's like a perfect timeline bleed through. There was no one in my family that made like a ton of money like that. I think someone was said like it kind of looks like a poor little girl's room. Um, Yeah, it was it's in this neighborhood, it's down the street. It was a row house that was like half another person's house and half our house. It was a very small house. And, they were like young parents just starting out. And, we didn't have like, in this family lineage, we didn't have like a famous grandfather or something. I told you who they were, Piggy Carter and Cap, but oh, okay. Yeah. He said that we have family pictures, we have family albums of us when we were together. So for like Sean, who was Eric, Brandon said that we have family photo albums of that. So, and he said that we'll show you Sean. So, because I think Sean was freaking out, and Sean was like, "That's my room. Oh my God, I remember that room." When he saw like the boys' room, he's like, "That's my room." So it probably was. Kind of into believing my friends. um, so I saw one of my ex-boyfriends turn into a zombie last night. So I did start to see the zombies bleed through. I was watching, I think it's Vizio. So I have a smart TV, a Vizio smart TV, and it comes with like a lot of free channels, and like I think Vizio has its own free cable network. And because I don't have any subscriptions anymore, because I don't have any money, I can only watch free TV. And I'm pretty sure it's like the Vizio channel, like the Vizio app, and it has like cable and it has like 800 channels or like something crazy. Remember when cable was like that and it had like 800 channels like before we switched? And so I was flipping through cable to find something to watch, and they have all these networks that are like binge watching TV shows and stuff like that, which is like my favorite. And one of them was binge watching Walking Dead, and I was like, "Oh, yes, I want to watch this." Because like I've never seen The Walking Dead because I was really like literally so afraid of zombies in 2000 and um between like 2014 and 2018, and like going previously backwards, I was like my entire life I've been extremely scared of zombies, and we're wondering why. But now I absolutely love zombies and stuff, and so that's why I never watched The Walking Dead when it came out. And I tried to watch it a few times, but it's always like pay to watch it, The Walking Dead. And so I was like, I never watched it. I'm like, why do I have to pay to watch The Walking Dead? I don't think it's free anywhere. And anyway, it's free on my cable station on my TV, and it's binge watching it. So I was like, yes. And so I watched it, and the energy said, does she have cable? And they were like, yes, she does. And you also have the ability to rent movies on my TV. Like if you want to watch one of the newer movies, you can rent it for $2.99, $3.99, whatever it is. So you actually don't need subscription services, is what they were alluding to. And these subscription services were like, eventually people are going to catch on and realize they don't need subscriptions or whatever. The only good thing about a subscription is like, oh, I can like watch this right now with no ads running through. But like, even like the cost of living has gone up so much that like a lot of the subscriptions have like the lowest service for like $7.99 a month, and then you watch the stuff with ads. So like you might even have to watch ads with like the lowest subscription. So it's sort of like the elite is the only ones like subscribing to the elite channels without like subscriptions or whatever. I mean without like ads. It's kind of funny. But yeah, like poor people like me, they actually have cable and can watch like whatever they want still. Like I can watch whatever I want on my smart TV kind of. So I was binge watching The Walking Dead last night for free. I mean, I bought my TV. My TV wasn't free, but I can just watch whatever I want for free. So I was really happy to watch The Walking Dead, binge watching that. Um, yeah. Okay, and what was I saying? I don't remember. So, the zombie, his eye was pushed out that I saw last night, and his head was cut off. Gigi said that's probably his final form, or his form right now, or his real form. Um, Ryan was in my dream last night. He said Tim's gonna come over and propose, and you're gonna be very, 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 very happy this Christmas. We'd like to believe that, but we're not really too confident that that's gonna happen. And a coworker of mine, an old coworker of mine, very, very old coworker of mine from a long time ago, was acting like she was in charge and micromanaging me at a photo shoot. And I was wrestling her because I'm literally in charge. And I obviously always kind of know that. Plus, like, I'm so much smarter than she is. And it's always like, I'm always so much smarter than these people. How come, like, they, always get the promotion? And I know this is a long, long time ago in my career. How come they always get the promotion? How come they're always supported at work and I'm not? Um, why do they always go with these unreliable people like that think they're smart, but they're actually like really, really dumb and really, really negative and all they do complain all day and stuff like that. And so in the dream last night, she was like wrestling me and like saying she was in charge and I have to listen to her. And she was like exerting her fake princess power, and I was just like not having it in the dream. And I just wasn't having it, and I was exerting my power over her, and I wasn't like giving up, and I wasn't like backing down in the dream at work with her. And I was like literally telling her out loud, like, no, I'm in charge and you have to listen to me. And it's like literally not a choice. And she was obviously getting extremely angry at that in 2024. Like, people still think they're in charge, and then here we are, and they wonder why their lives go to shit, and they wonder why they're not going to be able to afford like freaking subscription services and everything. But anyway, if you want to be able to save some money, I highly suggest canceling your subscriptions and just using your smart TV's free channels and free cable, because I got like, when I started thinking about it, I got like super mad. I was like, all that fucking money I wasted on Netflix and Disney Plus. I mean, Disney Plus is a little bit different because there's a lot of stuff on there that you can't really watch, but I don't know. I'll see if there's like a Star Wars or something. There might be you know what I mean? There might be Star Wars for free. There might be X-Men for free. There might be a Disney movie for free. Who knows? Right? But like Disney kind of like doesn't let people like play their stuff for free, but you can obviously always rent it and you'll still save a lot of money, or you can buy it and watch it like whenever you want if it's like, a movie you really like or something like Black Widow or something. Um, but yeah, because I think that the subscription services are going to go under because people obviously were listening in last night. Hayden chimed in then. Uh, Somebody said, like, did you guys hear that? And Hayden's like, I don't know. We are listening in. So I think the subscription services are obviously having a tough time anyway, as of right now. But I think they're going to have a even more tougher time in next year with the cost of living rising and everything like that. And people are going to start canceling their subscription services. They're obviously listening in right now. People are obviously looking to like save money where they can, and they're listening into me, and they're going to start checking their TV to see like what they have, what options they have, and the free options. And they're going to see they have 800 channels of stuff. And there's a lot of other options on the TV that's free. They have they have like free movie. Tubi's like a free movie platform. And they actually have like cool, like free movies that you've never heard of. And you're like, oh my God, this movie was like so amazing. I remember like the Advent Calendar, that's like a free movie. And that's actually, I saw it on Vizio and I was like, oh my God, that movie was so good. So there's a lot of free options if you need to save some money coming up and you need to like cancel the Elite. It's also an easy way to cancel the Elite if you guys hate the fake Elite like I do. And you want to like stick it to capitalism in a very nonviolent, very peaceful way. That's a very nonviolent, peaceful way to do it. Is to just cancel your subscription services and say you're not going to support the conglomerate fake elite that are ruining our lives literally every single day. Oh, and they were fighting back because they obviously realized this was coming and they were trying to fight back by creating like new movies that were like only available on Netflix and stuff like that. But like most of those movies, or Hulu, but most of those movies are like really bad or like really mediocre. Chris Evans is in a lot of those movies. There's like a really good one on Hulu called Prey, but like most of them are like really, really mediocre and like really, really bad. Um, so they're trying to fight back and they're losing, basically, is what I'm saying. Like they can't like come up with like good scripts, which is like part of the game. And we're not wondering why. Because they have people like my old coworker in charge who are like not don't have one single creative bone in their body and would literally try to go back to 1985 and have all boys' toys in their room to be as cool as me. And we're not kidding. Um, yeah, so I think that's pretty cool, and I'm excited to like binge watch The Walking Dead later again. Um, yeah, explore your free options. You know what I mean? Like stick it to the elite. Oh, that was one other thing I saw on TikTok yesterday. A bunch of people post that like their companies are like not going to be sponsoring their holidays anymore, which sounds crazy to me. Like they're not giving them any time off for their holidays, and they're going to have to literally take paid time off if they want to like take one of their paid time off days if they want to like celebrate the holidays. And I saw a bunch of TikToks about that and people were like crying about it. But like yeah, so like the cost of living's like really going up and like people are feeling really strapped and like um are trying to stick it to the man, obviously. So stick it back to them and like cancel your subscription services and start canceling the fucking fake elite that are ruining your lives every day. Cancel your Netflix, cancel your Disney Plus, cancel your Amazon Prime. That's the other ones. Your Hulu. I got Hulu for free for a long time through my phone. Um, and if we had free Wi Fi everywhere, we literally wouldn't even need our phone bill. We could just have Wi Fi on our phone and stick it to our phone companies as well. So that's an option for you as well. That one's a little bit more severe since we don't have uh, global Wi-Fi yet, but that might be something we have in the near future because we are listening in, and Elon Musk is listening in to that. And that's obviously something he wants to implement with Starlink. So, yeah, just a way to stick it to the elite this holiday season. And I think that's it. I mean, if you're fighting me back in 2024, I can just say you're like the biggest loser on the planet, you know? You're just literally the biggest loser on the entire planet. Like, what are you doing with your life? Like, you clearly like have no life if you're like pushing against the New World Order people. Like, you clearly are in the wrong and are not going to be supported by the energy, and we all know that by now. It's crazy. We also said we're going to play No People yesterday. It was just extremely confusing yesterday. I'm like, are we playing No People or are we not playing No People? I don't really know. We're probably in the precursor, so it's probably a little confusing. Oh, there's a bunch of people splitting. So the people that were like confused this year, that were going back and forth, like half supporting me, half not, they're starting to split. And I did split last time, and it's really terrifying to like because I think it starts as like that conversation where like they can't decide if they're like believing me or not, or if they want to support me or not. I think it starts there, but then the split happens, the 3D, 5D split happens, and it gets like super intense and it gets like super painful and like super hard to like deal with your life. And it gets like super hard to think because you're literally splitting your energy between 3D and 5D, and it's very confusing. Oh, falling to earth. So we're falling to earth right now, and we were like, where the hell is earth then if we're falling to earth? That's what Brandon said to me yesterday. That like how far up did we go if we're falling to earth, and like what level is earth on? Like is earth in 1D? I'm wondering. I would think maybe earth is in 1D, to be honest with you. I don't really know for sure. But that's what Brandon said. We're falling to earth. And like, because all of this has been an overlay of like purgatory basically, our entire lives. Like, you stupid women, they're like, oh, you're gonna spend purgatory where? Because my life is just so much better than the one molecules. Like, doesn't realize it radiates out from the one molecule. Like, thinks they're funny. Thinks they're funny to like go against me and stuff like that. And then they end up really doing the stuff that like they think they're joking about. And then they're like, oh my God, I'm like the worst person on earth. I don't know what to do. Like, I hate you, Alyssa. Like, that's happened so many times. You guys still haven't learned your lesson. So, Brandon was saying, like, this is all like a homogenous, peaceful, like overlay, and real Earth is like very, very fallen and very, very diversified and very, very full of stress and full of fear. And it's obviously closer to like the demonic. So, zombies probably do exist there, and it's like very fearful and stressful and lots of things that like we don't see every day. And that happens on real earth, and that's where we're falling to. And clearly we were falling almost all day yesterday because I had like a panic attack almost all day yesterday, and we had like a ton of energy in this house. Like, everybody woke up at like 7 a.m. and like my brother came over like really early, and we all had like a ton of energy in this house. So like we were clearly like all feeling like anxiety yesterday. So, and then Brandon announced like, oh, we're falling to earth right now. Um, and then we were going over like earlier in the year when we were going from like 4D to 70, and I think we were like picking up pieces of ourselves from 4D and taking them to 70, and like picking up the pieces of ourselves that we left behind in like 4D last time, picking them up and putting them in 70 to like calm them down and all that kind of stuff, and like help them with their like pain and suffering of like feeling trapped into 4D or whatever. And they obviously called out for help to the real savior, me, Alyssa, and that's why we rescued them. Um, we rescued them and gave them a break into 70, because that's what happens when you call the real savior. That would be me, Alyssa Janello. If you want to call the real savior, then we can come and pick you up. But yeah, I think now we're descending into real Earth, which I have a feeling, a sneaky suspicion that it's 1D. So we'll see how that goes.